Miss Amee Yajnik, how could you put this in your manifesto?
Arnab, yes,
Absolutely.
1 minute.
Absolutely.
First of all, we are talking about power. Let us not forget that it's a complex subject, and we have just...
Yes, and I understand the complex subject.
In 1991, yes, please bear me out for 2 minutes before I finish my answer. So from 91 only, we have just amended the Electricity Act after 90 years of the Act. We have brought generation in it. There will be competition. We have a regulatory commission at the state levels and at the national level. Now, if we are going to give some kind of a quality power, the middle class or
you answer one question. No, you answer one question.
But we cannot talk about
Vani Tripathi.
We cannot.
Vani is interrupting you. Vani.
We cannot deny subsidies to the
can this be
agricultural sector.
defined? Imagine a situation where you have quality power and I have absolutely disqualitative power.
Is being given
what
to
does
the
quality power mean?
and
what is
from the agriculture is 1 lakh applications are
Amee Yajnik.
Farmers are without electricity, so don't compare the
Amee Yajnik.
national model.
Amee Yajnik, what is this logic?
These kind of issues.
1 second. Amee Yajnik.
The institutional framework.
Amee Yajnik, please don't complicate the subject. The subject is very simple. The subject is very simple.
Yes.
You know, today the middle class of...
forget about the weaker section.
Yes, and you know who's being punished? Who's being punished after 10 years of the UPA government with back-breaking prices? Amee Yajnik, listen to me.
Much more for power. I mean, what are we talking about?
We do not have a manifesto only for the few industrial rich.
That, you know, a country which is grain eating is anyway paying 300% more in terms of its absolute amenities, daily amenities in terms of food grains, in terms of vegetables. And on top of it, you also burden them with something like, you know, paying much more for power. And on one hand, there are states where farmers are committing suicide. On another hand, you want to levy further more money. Middle class is already suffering. 5,000
farmers committed suicide in Gujarat. So don't compare Gujarat model.
And then you say quality power.
The electricity subsidy
is it for the elite? Is it for the elite? Is this manifesto for the elite? I mean, who are you talking about? A party which talks about Aam Aadmi, talks about poor, Garibi Hatao. This almost looks like Garib Hatao. It's an absolute deceitful manifesto, you know.
Arati Jerath, Prasenjit, welcome to the debate. No, 1 second. Arati hasn't come in. Meghnad, Desai. Now, it baffles me. It indeed baffles me that today we have the Congress party saying on record that if you want good train services, better train services, and you want uninterrupted power, we will charge you a little bit more money. And then we will use that money to fund some other schemes. I mean, in a country riddled... No, why don't you?
Cross subsidies, we cannot forget the weaker section.
Who's telling you?
We cannot forget the weaker section.
Why? Well,
do not talk about Gujarat model. There is no uninterrupted power. It is only given to the industrialists. It is only given to the industrialists.
Arati Jerath.
I mean, this is how...
I have Arati Jerath.
And it is the most expensive power in the country.
Arati Jerath, explain. Arati Jerath, Prasenjit, welcome.
May I get a turn
Arati,
to speak
please.
now?
Arati.
Affordability.
Yeah.
So now we have an affordability
Arnab, I think the Congress is completely confused. It can sense that its middle class base, the middle class votes it got last time, which helped it win the 2009 elections, those middle class votes are running away from the Congress party. And the Congress is trying desperately to hang on to those middle class votes. That's why they're talking about urbanization, 100 urban clusters. At the same time, they're taking away whatever the dreams they're trying to sell the urban middle class by, talking about imposing a user charge. So, I mean, they're really confused. And I think that they don't have a way forward. And it's really sad that if you see them when they talk about their achievements, the only achievements they have to quote are the achievements of UPA 1. Or UPA 2, they talk about this high growth rate they gave the nation. That was all in UPA 1. What happened in UPA 2?
Right.
They don't have a single thing to boast about from the last 5 years.
Well, of course they do. They have Ashok Chavan to boast about, which is why they give him a ticket. I find it baffling today. And Meghnad Desai, I want to...
Prime Minister's talking about a blueprint to handle corruption.
Meghnad Desai wanted to come in. Yes, Mr. Desai.
You know, I wanted to say about power, you should look at the Madhya Pradesh example. Madhya Pradesh has managed very successfully to provide power inexpensively and efficiently. And, you know, just don't go on about the Gujarat model all the time. There are a variety of models of providing power cheaply. Congress has been in power 50 out of the last 65 years. And they still haven't been able to provide uninterrupted power for the world, for the country, and they still go on saying, "Oh, we will do it in the future." It's always tomorrow. Everything is going to be tomorrow, not now.
And now they say, and now you say, Amee Yajnik, that we will. And now you say,
admit its failures.
No, now you say this is
admit its failures.
Now, isn't it the greatest failure in the world that after 10 years in government, you're telling the people of this country to pay you more money to get uninterrupted power? To have basic services? Why? To have basic train services? I think it's an insult to the middle class of this country.
Only one point.
Yeah.
You see the
Well, I'll come to the next point.
Talked about the basic needs of the people. We want to move 70 crores of people to the middle class, the right to pension, right to health care. You are not talking about these issues and just picking one point. But let us not forget that
you had 10 years to deliver that. Vani.
Affirmative action. We cannot neglect the weaker sections. We cannot neglect the social classes. We cannot neglect the weaker sections.
No, wait a minute.
We are not here as a BJP for the rich.
Is a whole
we are going to empower all the people of
this country. And as Lord Desai said, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, I mean states also which went completely solar. Madhya Pradesh is completely solar. Gujarat is completely solar. So if you want to find a solution for the power initiatives in a state or in the country, you can.
You should get
and
the
only
facts
one
of
point
Gujarat
let me
before you
remind
talk
the
about
Congress
Gujarat.
Spokesperson is the
There is no
absolute deciding
Don't talk
factor
about
for
Gujarat,
prices.
please.
Power is related to the agrarian sector. That is why there is farmer suicides in the state of Maharashtra.
And now my next question is,
it is the very point
5,000 farmers have committed suicide in Gujarat. Why are you not talking about that?
For the poor.
Where is the electricity to the power to the farmers? Where is the water to the farmers?
Why
are you giving it to the industrialists?
Amee
What are you talking here?
Amee Yajnik, the Congress, I understand, the Congress party wants to tax people even more for getting good train services and for uninterrupted power. Great, it's your manifesto. Why are you feeling defensive about it? I'm only discussing it. If you think people are going to vote for you, if you think people are going to vote for you,
5 years.
then why? No, it's all right.
I am showing the intent for the next 5 years.
If it is the Congress party's view that the middle class of this country should be dumped, punished, taxed a little bit more because there's not been enough price rise. Vegetables have gone up by only, some vegetable prices have only gone up by 700%. And this middle class of India, which is luxuriating after 10 years of our wonderful government, should have to pay a little bit more if they want their train to look good, right? Or to get a basic meal on a train, or to get power at their house.
Fine,
70 crores it's your promise. Fine.
Who
now
are
my next question
hard
is,
to build this country.
Yeah,
you do not want to talk about pension.
Please,
you do not want to give
there
them
is
health
nothing.
care. You do not want to give them
the money. You do not want to then you please tell. Please tell Ashok Chavan to disclose what was the quid pro quo and whether he is willing to give a quantitative assessment to the financial quid pro quo if there was one, and then ask Ashok Chavan to step down from the election, take moral responsibility, and let the Congress party get back at least 10% of the money that it has lost in scams, and use that money for where it is worth instead of taxing the middle class more.
And if you want to ask Ashok Chavan, then you have to ask the sitting ministers of Gujarat. What are they doing after conviction? Sitting in the cabinet, you have to ask questions to every party.
Why are you defending yourself on
Ashok Chavan? Not single out one person. Why are you not asking Babu Bokharia?
Why are you on the defensive on Ashok Chavan?
Why is one minister, many ministers
why is the Congress party so defensive on Ashok Chavan? What is the deal making which has happened?
My question.
How come after such a huge scam and after removal of the chief minister, the Congress party still continues to to defend him. This is very curious. And also in election time, where you're talking, Prime Minister is saying we'll have a blueprint on corruption. Then you have so much to say about Ashok Chavan. Fantastic. And
Prasenjit. Prasenjit.
That you're defending him. And also, Chief Minister,
But why don't you remove your minister?
charges of corruption and a scam which has eaten
My
into
next
the
question.
national exchequer. You, despite all that, are ready to field him as a candidate. I think this is fantastic theory, and it shows what kind of a development agenda that you have. Free country, corruption free, and all those kind of things that you've said in the manifesto, is they are all getting absolutely ratified.
My next question is to Prasenjit.
The defensive tone in which you have.
My next question is to Prasenjit. In fact, I was surprised that this particular question was not asked at that manifesto release. But the most shocking of all the proposals is the proposal to once again reinforce the element of caste among the youth of this country at a time when jobs are shrinking, Prasenjit. Let's not talk today about the timing of the Congress decision, but about the ridiculousness of it. At a time when jobs are shrinking, when educated, unemployed people are out there on the streets not having enough jobs, lo and behold, you set up a race for private sector quotas. You want to introduce big quotas in the private sector so that the educated youth of this country suffer a little bit more. Prasenjit, would you agree with that assessment?
Well, Arnab, I would like to make a couple of observations on that. First of all, from what I have been able to understand so far, I don't think the Congress has actually said quotas in their manifesto. I think they have talked about building some consensus about introducing some affirmative action for SCs.
So what is the affirmative action you think will happen in the case of jobs? What else but quotas? What does it mean?
Just hear me out. Just hear me out first. I think that it is actually the left. In fact, the CPIM manifesto is more specific when it talks about quotas, reservation quotas for the SCs and STs in the private sector. I don't think that the Congress manifesto is as categorical as
Well,
that.
I'm sure there's a race between the two, but why don't you come to the point?
Second point, no. First of all, you have to get your facts right. You have not got your facts.
Well, I've put my facts on the screen. The number of unemployed millions has risen. It's there on the screen right now. The fact is completely correct. I don't know why you're being defensive now of the Congress party.
I'm only correcting that the Congress party, what you are alleging of the Congress party, I don't think the Congress party...
I'm making no allegation. I'm making no allegation. I'm saying something very clearly. They have said we will create affirmative action for SCs and STs in the private sector, which means jobs will be there will be quotas for jobs in the private sector.
Second, this is an issue or not. This is an issue which has been there from 2004 onwards. In 2009 also, it is not only the Congress. There are many political parties, and I would like to know where the BJP also stands on this. Because most political
Vani
parties
Tripathi.
in India have already committed.
You see, this is the typical passing the buck.
In their manifestos that they are for this.
No, this typical passing the buck.
Since you wanted my views on this. Wait.
What does he want to know? Our manifesto will be out in a couple of days. I'm not here to, give any leads into what my manifesto is going to look like. But of course, if the Congress party is trying to, compensate for the millions of youth which is jobless and is unemployed by talking about finally, what were they doing for 10 years? If they wanted this kind of privatization to happen and if they were so pro-quota in the private sector, what were they doing for such a long time? I mean, it's all very well to do lip service at the very last minute, of the election, but this is not going to compensate the amount of unemployment and the amount of the condition of the youth in the country.
Why are you playing
whatever the BJP will do,
so
my manifesto will be out very soon.
So that was my short point.
But why?
Going on and on.
No, why should I propose anything right now? Excuse me. No,
please hear me out. Yeah, I have heard you. Please hear me out.
Today, the
what I'm trying to say is,
by the Congress party has this to say about privatization. I mean, what are they trying to compensate for? For the joblessness that they have created in the country? For the unemployment ratio which has escalated so much in the country?
Why are you passing the buck? Why are you passing the buck? I am trying to say I don't know what the BJP person is talking about. I could only understand she is not opposing reservations in the private sector. That much I can understand.
So you welcome that. But come to the short point. Who wants quotas?
Excuse me.
Who wants quotas?
What is the short point?
Who wants quotas? Meghnad Desai?
No.
Meghnad Desai?
Yes,
these political parties discover the caste card before the elections. for the
Wait,
narrow
wait, wait, wait.
political
Do you
consideration.
know,
I
Arnab?
think it is about time.
Arnab,
Meghnad
do you
Desai,
know?
Meghnad
Do
Desai.
you know?
About time.
Do you? Not,
It
Meghnad
is
Desai.
about time. It is about time. It is about time that the Indian political system decided that the best cure is to create lots and lots of jobs and not have reservations. You only have reservations because you're pessimistic about creating jobs.
Exactly.
If you are able to create enough
Arnab,
jobs, you don't need
people-
reservations. Reservations have not helped in the public
Arnab, can I-
sector. What you need is a employment market with no caste discrimination and no regional
Well,
discrimination.
in fact, I find this.
That would be really.
No, but
Arnab, Lord Desai,
And
Lord
that is
Desai
what
is
people ought to be
saying something which
promising.
is unexceptionable. The problem is we don't live in that utopian world.